So some you see how they build on each other.
Steps.
Right.
Literally steps.
Right. So the notes that he's playing the song, and that's the way he soloed. And it was just so full and lively. I mean, it was like, wow, because basically he took improvisation to another level. By making the notes in and of themselves relate as a whole. So yeah, I'm a big Coltrane fan.
That's pretty deep. Because, you're such a cerebral kind of guy.
Yeah.
And I know because, we've had some crazy tracks.
Right.
we've had some crazy tracks. Hey, yeah, and that is a shameless plug.
Right.
Family, go to for www.foreverfriends.cc.
That's
and
right.
and I mean, the interviews are spectacular, but some of the music, wow, yeah. So yeah, I thought everybody sees you and you're always just so straight laced, kind of tight ass kind of guy, and I thought it was important for the family to just really get to hear you, the person, speak. So this brings me to another question.
Okay.
Where do you feel the need for change? And this can be more so, where do you feel the need to change for you? But the second half of that is, where do you feel the need for change for society?
Well, I'm going to tackle the easy question first.
So you're going to go with society?
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. We are in a world where consciousness has been, I won't say removed, but it's definitely been devolved.
Yeah, I was thinking attacked.
Attacked, yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, so we are less conscious as a society as we've probably ever been in our existence. There's severe ramifications for that, because a person who doesn't think is a person that is controlled. Somebody does your thinking for you. As a matter of fact, that's kind of the thing people want to do. I mean, some people want to get to the point where I don't want to think about that. Well, I don't. What? That's what we're here for. We think, then we do. That's what humans do. Ants bite. People think and do. So raising a collective consciousness is the biggest change that needs to happen in society. Now, in the inner society, which means your internal self, i.e. me, I'd have to really think about that. Because to me, changing in my world means a lot of doing more of what I'm doing. I mean, I am convinced, based upon the outcomes, that I'm on the right road. So I'm not really off the path. And then I've always thought, well, maybe you need to speed up, the car on the path. Well, I might, but then I might miss some of the roses along the side. So there's really not a lot of specific change that I need to do as far as correcting something. My change really, I believe, flows more from the perspective of continue to grow and expand who I am as a person. And to some extent, what I can give back to those around me, without sacrificing myself, of course.
Fair enough. Now let me ask you the follow-up question to that. Why do you feel there's a need for change?
Why do I feel there's a need for change?
I know that's kind of loaded.
Well, it really isn't loaded because, once again, if you're living in truth, you will understand that ultimately, whether you think there's a need for change or not, change is. Change is nothing more than time. They're the same thing. So,
explain that, because some people might not get that.
Well, how does something change? It has to move from something to something else, which means it has to happen over a period of time. Nothing stays the same because time doesn't stop. Time is perpetual. And this is the one thing that I would say you really need to get as a human being. I do not want to discount your question, though. You want to say, why do you think there's a need for change? Well, if you're not in a good place, there is a need for change. If a society is not in a good place, there's a need for, quote unquote, the textbook change thing that I'm thinking that you're asking about. But inevitably, change is that. Change happens. Change is perpetual. We're always changing. Excuse me. We're always changing because we're always living in what we perceive, and until proven wrong, a linear time world. You know, it's inevitable.
Now, you just said a word that you don't let fly too loosely.
What's that?
Perceive.
Right. Because there is some concepts out there that time is not linear. Yeah, well, I'm from Fort Worth, and until you can show me somebody who really went back to the future or got a time machine, yeah, time is linear.
You sure you're not from Missouri? Show me state.
Show me state, man. I mean, because remember, I'm a student of Ayn Rand, and I understand objectivity.
Right.
Yeah. You're gonna have to show me definitive proof that you can skip the time-space continuum for me to believe it. You know, I have yet to see and meet somebody who went back to yesterday, or even 5 minutes ago, or even 1 hour, 8 minutes ago when this interview started. So that's why I say perception, because there are concepts out there that can prove that wrong. Like, they have done some experiments where they've had these people fly around in these super fast jets and these super aligned clocks, and the clocks are off. So speed definitely can affect time in my understanding. And basically what it means, it slows it down. If you're moving at the speed of light, time slows down for you. But it's still linear.
So you're right.
Okay.
So let's talk about time. You have a unique perspective about time, so much so that it's almost like a currency for you.
Time is the ultimate currency. Because I want you to think about what you just talking about, what I just said.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's a linear thing. You can't get it back. What is the most precious thing that you have?
Or that you can give?
Or that you can give. That you have or you can give.
Time.
I'm going to give you something that I can never get back. Never. Never. Shit, I don't think, what else can you say about that?
After that, there's nothing to say. But I wanted to I wanted the family to have a cerebral expression of the power of just that, the act of giving someone your time.
Your time. I mean, in a in a more lighthearted way, we've heard both sides, most male and female, when things don't work out well. I gave that woman 4 years of my life and got that, why are you so mad? Because you can't get it back. Oh, I've been good to him for such. That, and I done wasted 10 years of my. Why are you mad? Because you cannot get it. You like, I could have been doing something else. Well, yes, you could have, but you weren't. You paid attention to this particular circumstance, this particular person, this particular interview. Yeah. It's currency. Because currency flows.
I could be deep every once in a while.
Oh, yeah.
I could be deep. I get it. I get it. And I definitely, heartfelt, definitely appreciate the time that you have taken this evening to sit here and chat with your girl Spirit.
Okay.
I mean, I appreciate your time. So, as I get to some of the last few questions, because time is precious.
Right.
And I know I'm getting into your sleep time.
Right. You good.
I think the family would want to know, how will you transform your life from now to then? And then is infinite in the real span of things, but maybe not how, but what is it that you want to do to transform your life from where you are right now at this particular point to where you would like to be?
I would like to have more currency.
Now, family. I think it's episode number 2 about what money really is.
Yeah. But whatever it really is right about now, I would like to have some. But that's all part of the journey as well. Where I am now, where I really would like to be, the more I'm living this world, I understand what my short-term goals are. Ultimately, where I would like to be is that vessel of truth, that repository of truth for the family. In some ways, we kind of are, but I like to do it in a more structured way. Definitely being in a place of where you can focus more on your mind. See, I'm kind of in my mind, I'm thinking, okay, that question is, okay, where is it that you really want to be when you don't really have to do the day-to-day things of survival? Yeah, and that's where I would be. I would be sitting somewhere around a bunch of ambitious people, primarily younger people, teaching them Ayn Rand, Robert Persing, Napoleon Hill, Robert Kiyosaki, just all the different things, instruments, play an instrument.
Oh, you sound like you want to go back to the real 7 liberal arts.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's kind of where I would like to be.
Would you do that in a formal setting, or you just gonna be that cool old dude that live over there on the hill that people can fall through and just sit and chat?
Probably both, but more